Well, the mental challenge is certainly greater for Preston tonight. But the quick turnaround may help them in that respect. Chesterfield, well, it's a huge night. 64 years since they last enjoyed second-tier football, chasing successive promotions. It is playoff time. Let the madness begin. It's tended to be associated with unhappiness for Preston North End. This is their 10th attempt at success in them. It's the history of the club, it's not necessarily the history of these players and this manager, who in particular has a pretty enviable career record in the playoffs. Simon Grayson, twice successful as a player, twice as a coach. And it is Preston in their change strip tonight to get us underway. One here back in February, playing a similar formation to tonight, but the game defined really by an early sending off, and we hope for the spectacle really that it remains 11 against 11 for longer than 2 minutes tonight.
Absolutely, it's a fascinating matchup between the two sets of players, and with a manager like Simon Grayson, who has enjoyed success in getting teams promoted from this division, they've got a man of great experience leading them there.
Laird's ball in, early chance for Garner, and Humphrey arriving. Dangerous. Red alert inside the Chesterfield penalty area. Really bright start from Preston, and certainly showing that there's no psychological hangover.
Well, I think it's ironically Joe Garner here who manages the air swing and doesn't really get enough on it. Gets his body shape right, and then Humphrey comes in at the back. And then it's defended well, I think, by Chesterfield.
26 goals this season, an early opportunity to potentially add to the tally, and he is capable of the spectacular. You may remember back at Deepdale against Rotherham in the semi-final last season, he produced what was voted the Football League's Goal of the Year.
It was a truly outstanding finish, and one of great technique and skill and timing, and it's something that perhaps not a goal of that calibre that they need tonight, but a goal of some sort. It's ironic that on Sunday against Colchester, the first time they've not scored a goal in 30 games, and that's when they really needed it.
Grateful for the safety net, Simon Grayson. Nobody has achieved promotion from this division more often. 3 times, and a pretty select band. He'd be the first to make it 4 if he's successful in the playoffs. Will escape the clutches of Tendai Darikwa. Not much has this season. He's had a fantastic campaign. First outfield ever present for nigh on 2 decades, since the days of Tom Curtis, who was part of the FA Cup semi-final side in '97.
It's a wonderful record to have, that discipline and the determination to turn in, week out, get your games under your belt. But it's a real sign of the togetherness that Paul Cook's instilled here at Chesterfield. Real team ethic, and it's the sum of the parts that's really working for this team.
Paul Huntington, very much out of the picture at the start of the season. And the main men now, Darikwa, Jimmy Ryan. Sam Hurd, I mentioned that early sending off against Preston in February. It was he who suffered it, and he's already lasted longer than he did then.
It's a box tick for him in this game then.
Already an improvement.
Sure. Another player in this team that's got playoff experience with Doncaster. Kind of experience going through both teams to see them through this tricky next couple of fixtures.
Darikwa. That's Bailey Wright. John Welsh. Flicked on by Garner. Darikwa cool. Finding the feet of Wright only. That's Garner. It might fall kindly for Gallagher here. Ian Evatt quickly to him. That's Gardner, but he loses out. Humphrey. Tackled away nicely from Morsey. Gallagher, apologetic. Arguably the best deliverer of a ball in this division, Paul Gallagher.
He's a wonderful kind of focal point for the way that Preston attack their opposition teams. I'm sure Jermaine Beckford and Joe Garner are looking for him to put the balls into those uncertain areas in the Chesterfield box to take full advantage of it.
Johnson, on familiar ground. Played 13 matches for Chesterfield earlier in the season. And his left foot usually a bit better than that. Had an outstanding time in Preston colours. It's very popular here as well. Paul Cook, whose side have done absolutely magnificently. He was a cultured player, like a tackle in his day, but cultured left foot, and a team forged in similar image, if you like.
I think tackling was pretty much allowed more back then when we're talking, but absolutely, he's really fostered a real togetherness within his squad, and he won't feel lucky to be where they are. They've worked terrifically hard. He does working very hard on the training ground, lots of discipline. You can sense that it's a team together looking for...
Well, this is going to run for Beckford, who's in and takes the chance inevitably. Gifted the opportunity, and he was merciless.
It's a perfect start for a team that's looking to recover from a devastating loss at the weekend. So a little late, there's a slight nudge there in Garner's back, but ends up falling at the feet of Beckford, and in that position you really fancy Jermaine Beckford to finish there. It's a delicate little chip over the onrush and Tommy Lee. Wonderful finish. We've started ever so brightly now, Preston.
And the inquest will begin. How it found its way through there, but delight for Simon Grayson, and all the demons quickly banished.
That's exactly what he wanted. He'd want his team to come in to this game with no nerves, no kind of reticence, and they've attacked this first 6.5 minutes with such great fervour that they deserve the goal.
Well, not that long ago, Jermaine Beckford thought his career was over. He had a severe ear infection, he couldn't walk, he could barely get out of bed. Did consider retiring, but since he's recovered from that, he's been explosive.
This is a great pedigree, Jermaine Beckford, and obviously having to overcome something like that this season and still come back at this stage of the season, popping up with a goal. Again, we talk about Joe Garner, but the foil of Jermaine Beckford, what a fantastic player to play up there with.
Can't go over to get there, but Huntington will. Chesterfield immediately up against it. Beckford involved again, Everett sprawling. Free kick goes Chesterfield's way. Hurd. Now O'Shea. Talented individuals to haul themselves back in this match. They have a team that has demonstrated great character, none more so than when they were 3-0 down at Deepdale earlier in the season. Preston had a magnificent start to that game back in September, but inspired by the now departed Owen Doyle, Chesterfield retrieved a desperate situation.
They'll take great heart in knowing that they can go a goal down, 2 goals down, and still be in this game with the kind of attitude and determination that they've got. The front players like Gary Roberts and Dan Gardner and Jay O'Shea need to start coming to life for Chesterfield. It's been all Preston in his first 8 minutes. Very definitely players that can create opportunities for someone like Sam Clucas.
Clucas, 15 games or so at left back this season. It's versatility for you. Lone striker tonight. Chesterfield have a free kick.
It's versatility, but it also shows a commitment to the kind of common cause of the team. Manager tells you where to play, then you invariably say yes, boss, and get on with it. And he's obviously a great example of that.
Gary Roberts plotting. That is the cue for the 2 centre-backs to head forward. Roberts. Quickly dealt with. Tom Clark over there. Interesting choice of ball. Worked out is Humphrey. Now Beckford. Up against Darikwa over there, and Daniel Jones, who was fouled. The referee allowing play to go on. Good advantage from Mark Haywood, but they don't take advantage.
It's like hitting the nerves, I'd say, with Chesterfield. They very definitely can play, and they do want to get the ball on this good surface, especially this stage of the season. Get their passing game going, get someone like Gary Roberts on the ball.
Here's Beckford. Nice flick. Here's Garner. Be able to make the save.
It's great forward link-up play between the two of them. A slight miskick from Beckford, which eventually finds Garner. Do well to beat Tommy Lee from there with that type of power and shot.
Well, he achieved what he wanted to achieve there, Beckford.
He was wonderful disguised.
Darikwa. O'Shea. In towards Clucas. Clark steps in. Now Gallagher. Johnson. A few boos in the air. He was quite a popular loanee here.
There's always boos somewhere.
As you've found, yes, throughout your career. Bailey Wright. Well, Gallagher and Garner there, not quite on the same wavelength. Garner making the point. Towards Clucas. Bailey Wright now. Towards Beckford. Gallagher looking to make his presence felt. That will go Chesterfield's way.
Just does look like there's a nudge. Well, there's not a little nudge, there's a big nudge in Joe Garner's back, which ironically ends up presenting the chance to Jermaine Beckford. And he's looking there just to play the player, Sam Hurd, but inadvertently ends up putting Beckford in clean one-on-one. Invariably in those situations, he does finish.
Yeah. Clear signal from Mark Haywood to allow the advantage, and didn't Beckford take advantage? And, well, difficult situation for Chesterfield, but as well as the style that they can produce, as we've already mentioned, they can certainly demonstrate the grit necessary to retrieve the situation.
Paul Cook is very pragmatic about the fact that it is not just 90 minutes tonight, it's also 90 minutes on Sunday, so nothing particularly won or lost today. You've got to keep the margins pretty narrow.
Some clubs looking on enviously. There was the well-documented approach from Portsmouth. Suggestions that he might have some options to ponder this summer, depending on what happens.
Absolutely, I think football, the way it is now, everyone's always open to options. It's whether you take those options or whether you stick with what you got. Sometimes the grass isn't greener, and a togetherness and a united front from top to bottom of a club can be more attractive than perhaps a bigger name.
Certainly united front here. It's Roberts. Jones, who does have good delivery from that left side. Clipped in again towards Gardner. Gardner up there with Hurd. Darikwa. Here's Everett. Never lost a playoff semi-final.
There is a patience in this Chesterfield build-up. They're not panicking. They might be 1-0 down, but not resorting to any kind of more direct tactic. It's not in the makeup. It's not the way the manager, Paul Cook, set them up. He wants them to play. Wants them to get the passing through the thirds.
Into Jimmy Ryan. Gallagher swarming around him, and now Well, he conceded the foul. Gallagher. Just to emphasise the positive start from Preston there, David.
Absolutely, and it is very kind of relevant to how the game's gone so far. I think Chesterfield are just building into it. They are starting to be able to move the ball around. So important they don't leave Sam Clucas up there isolated. Front four do kind of interchange, they do move around.
It's very fluid. Clucas pulling out to the right-hand side. He spends a fair bulk of his time in wide left position, whether he's nominally playing as the lone striker or not.
I think any potential changes that have happened during the season have been more towards the front four, because they do get through a hell of a lot of running, cover a lot of distance. Creative part of the game, such a tough part.
Certainly admired as much by Paul Cook this season for his contribution when they haven't got the ball, as well as what he's produced in front of goal. Used to work in a department store cafe not that long ago. Having been shown the door by Leicester City as a teenager. Garner, man in the spotlight.
It was a pretty uncompromising defensive header there by Ian Evatt. So there's anything too malicious in it. It's just greater strength and slightly bigger professional that he's has challenged Joe Garner there.
Restarting briefly with a drop ball. Jones. Now Hurd. Gardner making tracks down that flank, but there's Tom Clark. Johnson won't get there. That's John Welsh, certainly made sure he did. On nicely by Garner for Humphrey to chase. Jones with him all the way.
Contest down that side of the pitch. Daniel Jones very athletic. It's Humphreys, who himself can get up and down a pitch.
Yeah, arrived after a fairly controversial departure from Port Vale last summer. It's had a bit of criticism defensively, public criticism from the coaching staff. Certainly productive going forward.
Playing alongside someone like Ian Evatt, who will need to play obviously his own game, but keep that back four marshalled to help Daniel Jones no end in his defensive responsibilities.
Beckford, now Johnson. Laird looking to dart in behind. He's kept it alive. Garner. Block that by Hurd. Now Gallagher. A change out of Derrickwa. Here's Gary Roberts. Man well capable of providing the inspiration for Chesterfield. O'Shea. Jimmy Ryan. Maybe could do with a bit of calm, a bit of composure. There's bound to be some nerves around with an occasion like this.
Paul Cook would just be trying to convey the fact that, as I mentioned, it's still only 18 minutes into this tie, still a long, long way to go. So patience is the key, but if you are passing the ball and keeping possession, make sure you do it with pace.
Hoping for something on the turn. Very keenly contested battle there with Ian Evatt, and he bore the brunt of it.
Joe Garner just putting his marker down to Evatt to know that he's not going to be bossed around in this game. Slight arm on the back of the head.
Few have managed to boss Joe Garner around this season. 26 goals. Beckford. Decision goes the way of the home team, to Beckford's bemusement. And the referee's attention drawn to the tete-a-tete between Garner and Everett. One for him to keep an eye on. Getting involved. Let's have a bit of playoff previous with Rochdale a few years back. Jay O'Shea. Gardner. On now for Derrickwa. Lucas is in there, it's beyond him. But it wasn't beyond Roberts' important block. Morsey. And away by Huntington. Some wind in their sails now. And a free kick as well. Challenged by Clark on Roberts.
This is the first time we've really seen the intricate interplay for Chesterfield. You see Derrickwa making the run beyond. It's a wonderful ball cut back. Gets a wonderful block in the end from Clark, I think. Comes out to Morsey and they manage to snuff it out.
John Welsh always committed. A few words from Mark Hayward for him. It's known as the rattler in the Preston dressing room. Does like a tackle.
He's just sitting there at the base of the midfield three for Preston. He's got Johnson and Gallagher in front of him that he's got ratting around in front of himself, so certainly a contest in there between the two styles of play.
Lucas at the back post here. They're popping up there. Everett spinning away. And Johnson. Really get hold of that. Cleared in any case. The first real concrete signs of a Chesterfield response. Crucial interception that by Clark as they look to get Gardner away. Roberts. Jones with the ball in.
Great play again, it's Roberts there getting the ball on the half turn in between defence and midfield, playing in Daniel Jones. Just at the moment they've only got the one man in the box to aim for, unfortunately. They need to get more bodies forward, Chesterfield.
They produce a fantastic delivery for Ian Everett's equaliser at Bramall Lane at the weekend, and the final game of the regular season. They were much the better team in the second half of that draw, Chesterfield. Free kick in favour of Jermaine Beckford. Gallagher, very much the free kick expert, but just keeping it short for Bailey Wright. That's Laird. Beckford penalised.
We've got Beckford up against Hurd and we've got Everett up against Garner. It's going to make for an interesting night.
Yeah, some good battles shaping up here. O'Shea finds Gardner. Gallagher, Garner, Humphrey. Huntington. To Garner again. And Everett with the derisory glance in his direction on this occasion. Certainly marked each other's cards more than once.
It's fair to say that, Dan.
Now then, a little bit loose. Beckford to steal upon it. Overcooked to Ghana's frustration.
Got away with one there, Tommy Lee, but the fortunate thing is it's fallen to Jermaine Beckford, but in a wide area. So when he's crossing the ball in, there's no one in to be crossing the ball to. There's only one in the box to aim at, which is Ghana. We prefer Jermaine Beckford to be out there trying to whip the ball in rather than be on the end of the cross that comes into the box. But just another sign of perhaps a little bit of nerves that Chesterfield got, but absolutely no need to be. They've really grown into this game after going 1-0 down within the first 6 minutes.
And beginning to ask more than a few questions now, the home side.
Absolutely, and it's the possession that they've got going forward. It's the intricate short passing that's serving them well.
It's Dan Gardner. O'Shea. Gallagher nipped in, but here's O'Shea again for Chesterfield. Jones to Ryan. Roberts. Ryan again. Roberts. Jay O'Shea. Out now to Derikwa. Roberts. Jimmy Ryan. Gardner. Gonna kill one. Might fall for Derikwa here. And he's teed it up for O'Shea. He couldn't make the contact he was looking for under pressure.
This turned out to be an inadvertent assist from Derikwa. It's deflected up to him. Which has snatched that shot and it gets dragged across. It's a real good example of the way Chesterfield are playing. You've got the back four, you've got the two sitters with Sam Morsey and Jimmy Ryan, but the players in front, Gary Roberts, Dan Gardner, Jay O'Shea, Sam Clucas, looks like they've got license to do whatever they want and go wherever they want.
Well, Bailey Wright determined to get out to O'Shea there as he looked to take the strike, and he's suffered a bit for it. But the smile back on Preston faces. Sunday and Monday, maybe the heads were a little low. But they've certainly been lifted.
It's Derikwa, look, I think he's trying to pull that down, but as he comes towards the ball, just the follow through more than anything, I think, from Jay O'Shea. I don't think anything too deliberate in it. The knee into the face. It's brave defending to put him off, and I think without him throwing himself in front of it, maybe Jay O'Shea gets a shot on target there.
All part of a centre-back's lot. He's missed a fair chunk of the season through injury. He had to have a groin operation, Bailey Wright, because he went to the World Cup carrying a slight problem with Australia. Didn't quite get over that in time for the new season. Well, League One tonight. The Championship is still to come. Tomorrow to Griffin Park after their dramatic burst into the playoffs. Brentford take on Middlesbrough. 7:30 Sky Sports 1. And the most important East Anglian derby in a generation at least. Saturday midday Sky Sports 1. Bailey Wright back with us. Here's Derikwa. Out Jimmy Ryan. Morsey. There's a problem here for John Welsh. To the head, the play goes on. And now, what was simmering has reached boiling point. Well, Roberts and Gallagher involved in what ignited the fuse here.
It's just starting to get a little bit naughty. There's a little bit of bite to this game. There is so much riding on it. It's good, sensible, perspective refereeing here.
Well, a Glaswegian and a Scouse are involved. And Evert's involved as well.
It's quite an aggressive style of peacemaking that I think. I'm not...
Yes.
The two teams of players that do well to just get away from each other.
Well, tension certainly high coming into this, and we're seeing the tension channeled in a rather unfortunate way here. A little spat between Roberts and Paul Gallagher. They're enjoying it.
There isn't that much going on here that the referee's going to do well to... If he's going to get his book out, then they'll do well to find out who it is. Maybe it's just a sensible talking to and a calming of the situation.
He's poured oil on troubled waters. This is where it all started.
With the original one there, Gary Roberts at the top on John Welsh. There's a little something in there, but enough for him to go down, and then obviously his teammate Paul Gallagher takes retribution on Jay O'Shea. And I tell you what, he's right in front of the referee there. Paul Gallagher's looking directly at the referee with Gary Roberts' hand round his neck.
Well, that is certainly lenient from Mark Hayward.
It's extremely lenient. It's as much as it gets. We see a better version of it. I'm trying to mitigate for the referee here and slow him down, but when you've got Paul Gallagher looking at the referee with Gary Roberts' hand round his neck, there's not much else that he can do.
Roberts ball in, and Everett is up there. Been ribbing him about how few goals he scored this season.
He's a wonderful target man, but he needs to go back across there to try and find Klukas.
Well, they're certainly making their mark, Chesterfield now. Here's Humphrey looking to make progress for Preston. Oh, might pop kindly for Beckford. Well, there's more than an undercurrent now. There is plenty of edge. Here's Jones now for Chesterfield. Tom Clark showing equal determination. Fractious and feisty. Roberts. Well, he's frustrated. It looks as though he's got the free kick.
The referee will do well here just to pump the brakes a little bit and get some sensible words into someone's ear on the pitch just to calm it down. The game is getting stretched. It's these little fouls, these little niggly fouls that are stopping it in its tracks.
Well, Shea wants to take charge of this one, maybe. Everett at the back, Hurt too. Maybe targets to look at. It's pulled back though for Jimmy Ryan. Only the Preston supporters will be troubled by that.
This does pop up, and it is on, you'd say, for the overhead kick, but Morsey does put his head in to take the edge off it. Beck was worried about the follow-through of Morsey. He's got nowhere really for his feet to go. There is an element of him saying, perhaps, shouldn't put your feet there, but I don't know where else he's going to land if he's going to head it above Beckford, who's gone for the overhead kick.
Oh, and a slip by Tom Clark there. This is Gardner, who's in behind. Paul Huntington popped up in the right place at the right time for Preston. He'll certainly be encouraged by what he's seen since they conceded. Really, well, in the end, into the grasp of Sam Johnson. The cross certainly fizzed. On loan from Manchester United, for whom he is yet to play. This is first taste of the playoffs. Offside there against Klukas. The referee will award the free kick.
And you would say after the first 15 minutes, it really has been Chesterfield that have been really trying to get back into the game, and Mr. Preston got that early goal, and it's a great way to shake off the ghost of the game on Sunday. But they've sat back, they've allowed Chesterfield back into it.
Vibrant atmosphere. Derikwa away. Klukas rises. Oh, big appeal for handball from players and spectators. John Welsh. Forward by Tom Clark.
That's the thing you'll get with Paul Cook. He'll kick every ball, he'll header every header, he'll shout himself hoarse, driving his team on. He's in it with them.
Here's Humphrey. Gallagher and Laird in the box at the moment. Here's Garner. He's always got an eye for the spectacular, Joe Garner. Record against Chesterfield as well, 3 goals in 3 games. A club that's in his blood, representing them with distinction. Gardner. Sold Everett a touch short there, but he was able to deal with the situation.
This is a team of players at Chesterfield that do handle the ball in tight situations. They're encouraged to get on the ball with men tight to them. Can he get on the half-turn? Can he get in between the lines? People like Gary Roberts and Dan Gardner have been able to get on the half-turn to release someone like Sam Klukas or Derikwa overlapping from the right.
Humphrey. Beckford looking to get away, but it's through to Lee. Here's Morsey, looking for his 3rd promotion in 3 years. One with Chesterfield and one with Port Vale. Hurd. Looking for Derikwa. And finding him. Can't get the better though of Scott Laird, at least not first time of asking. He might have struck the arm of Laird, but Derikwa will pick it up and find Roberts. Jimmy Ryan.
Again, another example of Derikwa's athleticism and a great turn from Guy Roberts. Just manages to find Jimmy Ryan. I think perhaps Humphrey just does enough to take something off the shot. He's definitely got the technique for that, Jimmy Ryan.
He is noted for it, isn't he? His shooting prowess, Jimmy Ryan, former Liverpool schoolboy. Two youth cups, in fact, in his time at Anfield, so more than just a schoolboy. Klukas. Morsey. Here's Daniel Jones. Now Clark. Gallagher. Looking for Beckford again. Hurd has to make sure he got that right. Morsey, under pressure from Gallagher. To find Jones. Up to Klukas.
Wonderful play there from Klukas. I say he played a majority of the season at left back, but his movement and his kind of possession and the way he looks after the ball when it's pumped up to him is fantastic.
Well, O'Shea's in a bit of trouble there. Chesterfield go on. Jimmy Ryan, Gardner, Roberts. With the sole defensive presence rather than as he usually is, tanking forward down that right flank.
I think that's why he was a bit reluctant to go forward. He did see Jermaine Beckford out the corner of his eye, and he's no stranger to bursting forward and supplementing the attack, but I think common sense prevailed then.
Laird losing his footing there. Just won that. Beckford, and now here's Gallagher. Real chance, but Jimmy Ryan got back, importantly so.
It was great tracking by Jimmy Ryan. There was a suggestion that Beckford might have got caught here late by Sam Hurd. I think Jimmy Ryan just enough to get back to put Paul Gallagher off taking the shot any earlier. It was very well there. Great tracking from the midfield man.
Very important partnership, isn't it, Morsey and Ryan?
Huge for Chesterfield, because not only does Paul Cook want them on the ball to set off the attacks, he also wants them to do the dirty work as well. If you've got that front four that's so potent and so fluent going forward, you need two people behind them with real responsibility to protect the back four.
Between them, they got it right in the end. Lucas' presence to be concerned about. Garner putting himself about.
It's got to show that Chesterfield have got back into this game after the initial 15 minutes, but it's the goal that makes all the difference at the moment for Preston.
Gardner. The left foot through it, and Johnston has to beat it away. Gallagher looking towards Garner. It's that old battle renewed with Everett.
I think they were both looking for a foul there. Both a shrug of the shoulders.
Mark Hayward doing his utmost to let this game flow, and it certainly has rattled along. Dorikwa. O'Shea. Dorikwa again for Chesterfield. Certainly been the better side in the second half of this first half, if you see what I mean. Here's Gardner. Oh, and it might break kindly here for Klukas, indeed it did. Now Morsey. Dorikwa's on the charge, but that won't find him led away. Ryan, though, he does find Dorikwa. Now Roberts. Jimmy Ryan. Morsey for Chesterfield. Ryan. Now Dorikwa. 3 in the box.
Just too long from Dorikwa there. Most players were moving towards the middle and the front of the post. Wonderful control possession though by Chesterfield, really building into the game, creating good chances through good passing, good pace of passing. good angles on the passes as well. Gardner does so well to manoeuvre the ball into shooting positions, and it comes to a whole body of players, but Johnson does well to get down to palm it away. Tricky one that bounces just in front of the goalkeeper. Two good strong hands to get it away.
O'Shea, Roberts. 4 added minutes at the end of this first half here at the Proact Stadium. Roberts, beautifully done. Now Jay O'Shea, weaving his way through. Gardner now. Roberts. Ryan coming in. Now O'Shea will pick it up, and, well, Preston survive for now.
Wonderfully exciting stuff, the way it's building for Chesterfield. Great play by Gary Roberts to get into Jay O'Shea. You look in there's a couple of tackles where you're thinking, is he going to take the penalty? But again, great defending, stoic defending there by Preston to throw themselves in front of the ball.
Well, the second best defence in League One this season, getting a real test. Everts arriving. Climbing as he did so. It's not a quiet life down there when Paul Cook's around.
Absolutely not. I think the point he's making is Everts against Huntington there, and size-wise there's not much between them, but from, I'd say, a power point of view, Everts the bigger fella.
Well, I think they've got the message, Paul.
In no uncertain terms, I think you'd call that.
Derikwa, the Chesterfield manager, in one of his quieter moments there.
Not one for a grey area, I don't think.
Here's Humphrey. Has he got the beatings of Jones? Not on this occasion.
Good defending there by Jones. He's a hell of an athlete, getting up and down that left-hand side for Chesterfield.
Another Chesterfield free kick. More pressure for Preston to cope with.
Yeah, I think the referee's had enough of everybody questioning every single decision that he's making from about the 20th minute onwards. Become a debate more than anything. At least Paul Cook's now happier than he was before. For a split second.
Well, what have they got up their sleeve here?
You do look at the height they do have in the box with Everett and Klukas, but for a second there, Everett was retreating, but no, he's very much up there. Big presence for them up there.
Gary Roberts. Going through the routine. Joe Shea taking a fair old run up.
Optimistic, I think we'll say. It's quite a fair distance out. It's got to be wonderfully accurate to get A, on target, and B, even more so as a goal.
It's getting a little tense on the touchline as well. Snowden, part of the coaching staff, quite animated, the Preston coaching staff, that is. Well, a brilliant start to the half for Preston, but Chesterfield have certainly rallied. Tempers getting a little frayed on the field and on the sidelines. Jermaine Beckford, the man who got that early breakthrough after a ball somehow managed to find its way to him, involved in some of the debate that went down there, if we can put it that way. Chesterfield have had plenty of the ball, but have not had too much in the way of clear-cut chances as a result. Little false start there from Joe Garner.
It'll be intriguing to see or hear about what the two team talks were at half-time. Paul Cook not happy with a couple of things, but he's got to be very, very happy with the way his team's reacted to going a goal down. Preston obviously needed to get that kind of bad feeling off the backs from the game on Sunday, but since then it's just about all Chesterfield.
Well, here's Humphrey ploughing a bit of a lone furrow here.
Just put his arms in the air to say that there's no one to aim at, but I think it was Jermaine Beckford that originally put him in at right back, so he'll have a lot of ground to make up to make the box after that.
Humphrey, a man who has suffered a bit with his playoff past. Two playoff final defeats with Shrewsbury Town, and part of things with Preston last season when they were vanquished in the semi-final by Rotherham. It was a thrilling encounter at the New York Stadium. I remember they hit the post a couple of times, didn't they? Somehow Adam Collin in the Rotherham goal survived a major howler by the skin of his teeth.
God's very much on his side that day.
And in the final as well, with the penalties as well.
I think what Simon Grayson was saying, there might be this...
Oh, now then. Well, Jimmy Ryan involved with Paul Gallagher, and once again it comes to the boil.
The issue here is the fact that Jimmy Ryan's hands are up around Gallagher's face. This is what the referee's got to get to the bottom of right now. There was an incident in the first half where Gary Roberts had hold of Paul Gallagher and it went unnoticed.
Well, the initial evidence on first look looked pretty damning for Jimmy Ryan.
It's not in the sense of the violent act of a punch thrown, as is very rare on a football pitch. Just the fact that if he's got his hands up around Gallagher's face and the referee's got a decision to make here.
Well, which card is he going to go for? Because it seems inevitable that there is going to be one. He's got to bring a bit of order to proceedings here. He's going to put Gallagher. Well, has Jimmy Ryan escaped, or Is he now going to get his medicine?
Definitely making it very theatrical here, the referee, taking his time.
It is yellow.
Obviously the yellow there for Gallagher is the kick out at Jimmy Ryan. It's not only an elbow, it's the hands as well in Paul Gallagher's face. You see it slowing down, the evidence is pretty damning there. It's not a suggestion of trying to push a player off you, that's an aggressive act towards a player's face.
Well, it would be understating it to say we might have seen red cards on another night.
Absolutely, and sometimes we try and mitigate for the referee and what we've seen when we do see these replays, but from that it looks as clear as day. Sometimes the problem with letting so many things flow in a game, and it makes for exciting viewing, but when it kind of comes to the boil, making that decision of who needs to get booked or something a bit more severe in the punishment makes a tough choice for the referee to make.
Well, here's Garner. No beating Everett this time. Who will have enjoyed that? Johnson. The referee had some opportunities to draw the line in the first half and didn't take them, and things have gone to another level. Now Garner's down. Roberts with the foul.
Players do take responsibility for the challenges that are made on the pitch, but the referee is the one who's in charge. He's got to get hold of this game. Everett does come through late there. It's a trailing leg more than anything, I think, that injures Garner.
Just to confirm, Jimmy Ryan, a yellow card for the swinging elbow. And Paul Gallagher for a bit of holding before that, also receiving a yellow card.
If it did take that long, though, that you were wondering whether a red was going to come out.
Well, Gallagher will play it in. It's safe grasp for Tommy Lee.
The way the first 5 minutes have gone, you do hope that that real possession-based passing that Chesterfield have got into, the flow of the football, doesn't get lost in a bitty game of fouls and yellow cards.
A bit of niggle and spite, certainly in evidence. Derikwa. It's Bailey Wright. Welsh. Preston get the decision. Have to have eyes everywhere at the moment. I wouldn't envy him his job this evening.
Took the words right out of my mouth then. It's exactly what we're thinking, sat watching. It's a tricky situation to manage, so much riding on this game. The teams want to get as much out of it as they possibly can. Preston with the playoff history. Chesterfield a chance to really punch through the glass ceiling of expectation.
They're taking a while, I think, is the gist of it. It's Gallagher's ball in. Tommy Lee needed a couple of bites.
They've changed slightly in the first kind of 5 or 7 minutes of the second half. Chesterfield. Tommy Lee was rolling the ball out a lot more in the first half, getting players like Jimmy Ryan and Sam Morsey on it to build through the third. Just now they're trying to get back on the ball to play to the strengths of Chesterfield, which is ball on the floor, movement in front of them.
Wayward there from Dan Gardner. Well, we wondered why it was only yellow for Jimmy Ryan. This is the referee's view of it. Now, can he see the swinging arm from there?
I think you see part of the arm, but it's the movement of Gallagher's head that would suggest that if you were taking a guess of what had happened, that you would go for that.
Beckford shot. Well, the bottom line is, if he's not sure, he can't send him off.
Absolutely, and you can't go on guesswork. His assistants are there to help him to see as much as they possibly can, but ultimately it's the referee's decision to clarify who's booked or who stays off. Who goes off or who stays on. And it's a job, as you said, that we're not envying at the moment.
Darikwa. Here's a corner. To stop Laird's frustration over there. Preston wing-back bewildered.
A terrific delivery, Gary Robertson. The people tell, hey, Matt, Sam Hardy and Everett. He's gone short, though.
And Jimmy Ryan will take over. Now Roberts onto his weaker side, but he'll get another opportunity as Chesterfield get up a bit of a head of steam. Laird is down. And certainly in vain. Gardner has done well. Everett's in the mix. Tom Clark to hook it away.
Vital stage for both teams here. Preston to stand strong and Chesterfield to turn the possession and pressure into something more tangible.
Barely a seat to be had tonight. 10,000 crowd in the Proat Stadium. Roberts has wriggled his way through. On he goes! But can't hit the target.
Almost magical. Wonderful footwork from Gary Roberts. We know what he can do. He weaves in and out, drops his shoulder, leaves John Welsh standing, comes across, just drags the ball. And almost you're thinking, if he misses it even more, you've got Darikwa at the back post, tracking it. Engineers a wonderful position for himself. I don't know whether it takes a little nick off the Preston defender as he comes sliding in.
Agonising. Gary Roberts, schooled at Liverpool all those years ago. Knows plenty about the playoffs. This is 5th campaign. Wembley winner in 2012 with Simon Grayson's Huddersfield.
Small world football, and managers and players always seem to come back around.
Most certain. Johnson has lost out, and here's Morsey. Looking now for Gary Roberts. Huntington was there. Gardner. Well, down he went. Tangle there with Humphrey. It's
not really anything there in it for me, Humphrey. I think Gardner's looking for that more than actually it being forced upon him, the foul.
Former panel beater, Dan Gardner, who's seizing his second chance at league football, having had a difficult time at Crewe. O'Shea. Darikwa's ball in.
Paul Cook has got a team here who are very comfortable on the ball. People like Jay O'Shea, Gary Roberts, Dan Gardner, really good footballers. Want to get the ball. Shows the possession there. They're willing to get it in tough areas to keep possession of the ball for Chesterfield. Really indicative of the way the second half has gone. Not quite the clear-cut chances for Chesterfield, but very much in the ascendancy.
In possession terms, that's beyond domination, isn't it? 73%. But it's not how much you've got, it's what you do with it, as they say. Here's Gardner. Now O'Shea, Gary Roberts. Ryan. Morsey. Jay O'Shea. Optimistic moment from the Irishman.
That's what he was acknowledging to his fullback who was overlapping him. What they're doing so well, Chesterfield, at the moment, they're winning the second balls. When Preston is trying to clear the ball, people like Jimmy Ryan and Sam Morsey in there to be around the heels of the Preston midfielders to win the ball back, to set them on the attack again.
Well, they're enjoying it a little more now, a good deal more. And that's a desperate start to the game. There was certainly nerves aplenty around. Club that has not tasted the playoff experience for 20 years. Promotion back in 1995 from the 4th tier. Morsey. Jay O'Shea. On now for Hurd. Escaped Lucas's clutches. Help back on. Roberts onside, he was. Humphrey there with him.
There's a real sense of the fans feeding off the energy of the team, and the team taking great delight in that.
Gardner's ball. You sense it's coming. You sense there is some reward for this dominance of the ball from the men in blue. Gallagher. Cook wants to get involved in any way he can. It's won by Direcwa initially. O'Shea. Lucas losing out to Huntington.
Tommy Lee now has got that option of Jimmy Ryan to be able to come and get the ball off him. They are managing to stretch the pitch. Lucas is driving the Preston defence back, allowing them to build.
Cook on the touchline, urging Direcwa on again down that right-hand side. Not usually reluctant when the opportunity is there, it has to be said. Evatt finding touch. Preston making a rare foray into Chesterfield territory in this second half. Such is the finishing power that they possess. Chance all they potentially need.
Chesterfield can't get complacent in the amount of possession that they have. As you say, Dan, the forward partnership of Garner and Beckford has got a hell of a lot of goals in it.
Jimmy Ryan. Tendai Direcwa. Halted there by Johnson. Teammates earlier in the season. Nice idea from Garner, but Hurd was there. That's a beautiful ball though for Humphrey. Beckford will get there. You never cool. Finds O'Shea. Looks like quite a half hour of football ahead of us. It's Gardner, now Clucas. Gardner once again. Just got too much legs on it for Clucas.
Look at that. The real genesis of the attack there was the fact that O'Shea had space. Real fact of the way Paul Cook wants to play is if one side of the pitch is defending, he wants the other side, the other winger, the other opposite attacking midfielder to just to hang out of the pitch. So when that turnover does occur, he's got space on the half-turn to go straight into the opposition.
Cook there, he's visited Wembley many times. Chesterfield manager, as a fan with his beloved Liverpool. Player with Wigan for the little-remembered Mercantile Credit Centenary Classic. Series of short-duration games to mark the league's 100th anniversary. Here's an opportunity for Beckford. Jay O'Shea. Did that take a nick? O'Shea, no obvious appeal. Brief taste of the Premier League, O'Shea. It was at Old Trafford, of all places, for Birmingham City. Which would have been a big day for him, Manchester United fan from Dublin.
Get sucked into being too desperate with the final ball and taking on shots that are a little bit too Hollywood. The kind of joy that they've got so far is building shorter passes. Once you've moved the ball, it changes the picture.
Ooh.
Well, maybe not that short towards your own goalkeeper, but
Daniel Jones a little relieved, I think. High anxiety for the Chesterfield supporters in front of us.
Instead about being complacent and possession, you've got to make sure that the last touch of the ball, the most important one, is as good as you can possibly make it. Left his goalkeeper Tommy Lee short there, Daniel Jones.
Darikwa. Lucas will give chase here. Huntington able to get it away. Garner up there, this time with Hurd. It seems like he's chosen a different target for the second half. Might be just as well.
Perhaps he'd had enough, I think, of being headed.
This is Bailey Wright. Led. Garner maybe caught after he released it. Certainly in a bit of pain. I never touched him, the words from Jimmy Ryan.
You wouldn't for 1 second say there's anything in that. I don't really think it's coming together, and last 10 minutes or so has been a bit quiet for the niggly little fouls and the little dangling of the legs. What's the game's benefit?
Beckford, now John Welsh. Clark, Humphrey. Tom Clark. Gallagher keeps it moving. Scott Laird will take aim, but not hit the target. Well, League One playoff odyssey begins this evening. Tomorrow night we start on the championship journey. Brentford welcome Middlesbrough to Griffin Park from 7:30, Sky Sports 1. And then we head to East Anglia for a little local difficulty. Ipswich against Norwich, midday Saturday, Sky Sports 1. Bit of interest in that amongst some of those out there tonight. Paul Cook, former Norwich player when they were very much in their pomp in the late 80s when they finished in the top 4. Robert Sex Ipswich here. Brings it back. It will run for Morsey. O'Shea. Promising situation fizzled out a little bit. Here's Darikwa. Gardner. Twisting inside and out, and Klukas is in there, and Roberts will get on the end of it.
This is a wonderful example of Gardner's manipulation of the ball. Beats Laird, all ends up, stands up a great ball. If it does eventually come to Roberts, you would say he's onside. Douglas does not get enough on it as he perhaps liked to. Just skids off the side of his head. Chesterfield very much getting closer.
One statistic amid Preston's story of playoff woe, they've never won an away game.
This goes to show the domination that they've had in this second half. Really come out of the blocks. Same on target, but it's the goal that matters.
Oh, Garner slips in Beckford beautifully. What a chance that goes a-begging.
It's a huge, huge chance for Preston against the run of play. Good movement by Beckford and well found by Gardner. Manages to escape in Evert's clutches for just a couple of seconds and just looks like he splashed the shot when it needs to go straight back across the goalkeeper. Power there more than anything, I think, would serve him well.
You knew a chance like that was going to come sooner or later. Preston very much with the tools, however the game is going, to create something. Here's O'Shea. Well, that's broken kindly now for Garner. And Beckford could be in again. Forced a little wide. And Jay O'Shea plugged the gap that he needed to plug. And Preston just sensing it's there for them here to maybe take a decisive step in the tide. Tommy Lee, the Chesterfield keeper, struggling at the moment a touch. Needs a bit of attention. A man who missed only a matter of minutes this season after a red card that was rescinded against Sheffield United earlier in the campaign. And
just wonder if he's fallen awkwardly here with Jermaine Beckford's shot. Ooh, it's one of those ones as an ex-pro, you look at it and you know how much that's going to hurt. It's obviously happened in a split second, but it's the movement of the ankle, so the leg over the ankle, which bends it in the most uncomfortable and painful of positions.
Well, as has been the case fairly often recently, Chesterfield have not named a goalkeeper amongst their substitutes. Tommy Lee getting treatment from great character, great goal scorer in his day there, Roger Wilde, formerly of Sheffield Wednesday and Oldham. One of the few men in history to move from Oldham to Sporting Lisbon.
Name me another. That few.
I'll get back to you on that.
I think what's really caught Tommy Lee by surprise is we saw Jermaine Beckford get into such a good position. You were looking for him to really get something really behind it, a bit of power, but because he's not caught the shot as possibly as well as he'd like, it's caught Tommy Lee. He's smothered the ball, but it's his body position that's been thrown, I think.
Well, so many emotions. Well, Eric Nixon is on the bench, but unfortunately he can't play a part. The Chesterfield goalkeeping coach. Well, it may be a painful last 20 minutes or so, but it's the last 20 minutes he's got to see through, Tommy Lee.
We're really relying on his defence here to keep his job as low-key as possible. Do without it being a busy last 20 minutes for himself, just to protect that ankle. When you see it on the replay, it did look extremely uncomfortable the way it went underneath him.
He's not missed a game in over 2 years, Chesterfield, Tommy Lee.
Just measure the player and the person. Also, there's an element of luck in there, but there's a real determined character.
Gallagher going down. We couldn't get on the end of that. Here's Gardner. Roberts, Gardner. The Rick was in there.
Does really want to come back onto that left foot Gardner. If someone like Scott Laird has kind of worked that out as yet, we can show him on that right because he's been reluctant to use it so far.
Trying to find a way through the eye of a needle sometimes, through the middle. Derikwa. Ian Evatt for Chesterfield. Roberts. That little sequence of glimmers, if you like. One really good chance for Jermaine Beckford as and the Chesterfield have lost that sense of momentum they had.
But I think what Preston are doing better is defending better. They're getting back in a good shape. You've got Jermaine Beckford there helping out his midfield. Joe Garner pushed on.
There's Roberts, who found some space in behind. O'Shea won't get on the end of it.
Again, what they've done well there, they're defending in numbers. There's only 2 Chesterfield players in the box. The majority of them are Preston players.
Jones. Aldericqua. Well, the Chesterfield fans are certainly looking to get the message across. Attack, attack, attack. Key statistic in the third tier. No team who's played away in the second leg has won a semi-final at this level for 6 years. Swindon Town, the last. So they've got to try and go into the tie at Deepdale on Sunday lunchtime with some sort of favourable position.
Absolutely, they'll be looking to not salvage something from the game because they've been fantastic. Just taking something from it that they can use in a tangible sense in the second leg.
Gardner. Now O'Shea. Oh, and Jones is in there, Lucas is in there. Roberts. Oh, and somehow Johnston got it away, and Laird will beat Derrickwa to it, and Preston survive again. Tom Clark away. He's really got to grab it by the scruff of the neck here for Chesterfield. It's Morsey. Roberts certainly trying to provide his own brand of inspiration. That's a useful ball. Gardner was there. Now Derrickwa. O'Shea. Jimmy Ryan. Jay O'Shea now for Chesterfield. Lucas has come to the near post, and so too has Huntington. They're out of trouble.
Great little dink ball in here. Draws the goalkeeper out. Good brave defending by Huntington. I don't know whether Daniel Jones could have got something on Gary Roberts' shot.
Ollie Banks on for Dan Gardner. Acquired from FC United of Manchester last season. His dad, fondly remembered by Leicester City supporters of a certain age, in the same team as Messrs Lineker and Smith. Steve Lynex, who was one of my favourites growing up. Lucas is in there. Jones might get there.
Don't quite think Jones knew how good a chance that could have possibly turned into. It could have given Humphrey a real problem here. Looking at that, and it's only Lucas there, but I think he just hesitates slightly.
What is it they say about he who hesitates?
Doesn't score.
Well, it's certainly not lost yet for Chesterfield. Even if they do go to Deepdale trailing, but odds certainly against. It's worth a reminder that the away goals rule does not apply in the playoffs. Former Ipswich chairman David Sheepshanks got that rule removed after, funnily enough, Ipswich went out a couple of times on away goals. Preston changes. And Callum Woods replacing Scott Laird, who might have picked up a knock. Neil Kilkenny is going to come on for Paul Gallagher, who's been at the centre of the storm on a couple of occasions, and that's maybe why a few boos are ringing around as he trudges off.
Look at this being quite a signal of intent, but Kilkenny's more of a sitting midfielder. He's not going to be bursting forward. He's good on the ball. They want to get Preston back passing again.
Kilkenny was a regular starter at one point until Daniel Johnson stepped into the team after his arrival. Derikwa, referee playing advantage again. Clucas, Ollie Banks. Oh, and Chris Humphrey stepped in. Banks again, and Roberts always wants it on his left foot. Morsey. Ollie Banks again. Ryan. And he might easily have been in the dressing room at this point. Marshall well again by Huntington, the Preston backline. And Everts coming together.
Looking for Jermaine Beckford to do more of that when they are under so much pressure. Great defence from Preston, but they want him to stretch the pitch. Get Chesterfield penned back in their own half.
Well, in recent history, seem to have been allergic to the playoffs. But maybe they found a cure. To withstand a fair amount of pressure, but I say a fair amount, it's been almost incessant, but not much at the end of it.
Absolutely, but they are really controlling that midfield area, Chesterfield, and getting forward well. Just need to get a few more numbers up to get with Clucas when the ball goes in the box.
Just had the one attempt on target in this half, Chesterfield. Which, when you're in the position they're in, is not a particularly good statistic.
We're looking at both managers there. Paul Cook very happy with the way his team's playing. Simon Grayson perhaps obviously the happy manager because his team's got the 1-0 lead. Such a finely balanced game. Just creating that clear-cut chance for Chesterfield. Build-up play's been fantastic.
Simon Grayson with another very experienced hand there. John Dreyer, the first-team coach. Looking towards Clucas. He lost his footing, but he will get there. Wants heated up, and Banks arriving. Could not finish it off.
First thought here, as he kind of slips, I thought the chance had gone, but Lucas gets his feet back and brings the ball down in wonderful control. Puts into such a great area to the back post. Does bounce up high. Banks it, whether it's throwing your head on it as a diving header or just getting yourself over that ball. It's a good chance for Chesterfield. Tell how much it means to the manager there, what he thought of the standard of chance that he had. Looking for them to really hit the target there.
Jermaine Beckford's goal, the difference between the two so far. As we near possibly the halfway point, Huntington gets there. Flag up against Garner. Bailey Wright to mop up for Preston. Have they weathered the worst?
But for Preston now, it's the way they manage these last 7 or so minutes plus added time. Chesterfield have been wonderful in this second half and throughout the game since going a goal down. For me, they've controlled the game, not created the clear-cut chances. Beckford had one in the second half, which was dead through on goal and didn't connect with it as well as he should have done. Other than that, it's been all Chesterfield.
Would only be Chesterfield's 4th win in 22 playoff matches. Well, Preston's 4th win, if they can get there. Here's Johnson. Garner! Oh, did it strike the arm of Daniel Jones? There was certainly a hint of an appeal from the supporters behind the goal. Would have been a harsh one, I think.
Good late run from Daniel Johnson that got him onside. Daniel Jones doing well to get out of the way of a ball that's behind him and at his arm.
Absolutely.
You would fancy Garner there to hit the target. Man of his technique and form and the way his season's gone.
Flag up against Klukas. And had he got there, it would have been to no avail. Sam Johnston. Keeping up the family business, keeping goal for Preston North End. His dad, Glenn, did for a little while, and John Beck, what, 20-odd years ago now. Morsey. Ollie Banks, now Derikwa. Roberts. I've seen a few players slipping and sliding.
Which was heavily watered before the game. Paul Cook's behest really wants that zip on the pitch to enable the slick passing game that Chesterfield can play.
It's a terrific surface. We give plenty of compliments to Anthony Hayward, the groundsman. Interesting header from Hurd. It's given Beckford something to chase. Now Morsey. Well, there's still a long, long way to go, but you feel this is 5 minutes that Chesterfield have to make the very most of. 5 minutes plus stoppages. Gary Roberts. Just teed it up. Lucas with the appeal. There's O'Shea on the back post. Johnson. Preston are going to make their final change. And we're going to see the introduction of Callum Robinson on loan from Aston Villa. They had to extend that loan on Monday to ensure that he was available for these 2, potentially 3 games. Jermaine Beckford, the man who made the most of that chance early on, it could give Preston a crucial advantage here. Robinson looking to make his presence felt. That's Jimmy Ryan now. Bailey Wright. Remember the second leg of this one, Sunday lunchtime, 12:15 kickoff at Deepdale. Joe Shea makes his exit. And Armand Nyondwile, the enormous Ivorian. He's got a timeout on loan this season with the Tranmere and Oxford. Nyondwile. A little bit more of an aerial threat. 6'4" of him. It's a foul on Johnson. by Ollie Banks.
Really sparking to life parts of the second half, and there's a real groundswell for Chesterfield in the middle of the second half, but the last 10 minutes or so it's kind of not ground to a halt, but the tempo slowed, and you don't know whether the Chesterfield players are thinking, well, it's another game Sunday, so give our energy to go again for that, and the Preston players are happy with the fact that they've got a 1-0 lead.
Well, a few beginning to file towards the exits down below us, and wonder as they slip away, does the belief along with the remaining time in this match. They did score 3 up at Deepdale in September, but so did Preston. It's forward by Kilkenny. Oh, Robinson. Tommy Lee gets there. Won't be too thrilled at the news about the added time, but Chesterfield will be buoyed if they can get hold of the ball. Ian Evatt. It's Morsey. Roberts. Nondouile is the target. On the end of it, Roberts. Lucas. Useful looking ball to say the least, and Bailey right behind.
His crossing credentials there, Lucas. And part of the season playing left back, and obviously got in good positions like that to be able to whip a good ball in.
Not blessed with too many opportunities of this nature. Evatt looking to use Banks as a bit of a screen. Hurd comes to the near post. Keep it alive. Roberts twisting and turning, but coming up with nothing, and Kilkenny away.
I just think Roberts got too close there to defend. There's plenty of room there to be able to put a decent ball in. He has got very, very good delivery.
Darikwa. Around the back for Banks. Well, Humphrey's header might fall here for Morsey. And Jones on his left foot. Yet again, it's anti-climax for Paul Cook and co. Well, they've certainly had plenty of efforts on goal. What they haven't had is a major supply of clear-cut chances, and Preston have had a couple, taken one, and that's the difference.
That's the main difference. Some chances Jermaine Beckford had. Should have put it away, but that's why it's very hard for Preston up front. And a well-deserved rest, but he's got the all-important goal, which is the one that separates the two teams at the moment.
Roberts. Daniel Jones. Morsey. Jones. Roberts. Johnson in the way. Optimistic handball shout from the supporters. Robinson. Preston all the way up the field.
I do feel a real air of optimism though still in this Chesterfield faithful. I do know that the team's given Preston a real run for the money here. Some great possession-based moving of the football. It's just that final product. It's that clear-cut chance that they've not really been able to carve out.
Yeah, they've been filing towards the exits, but few have actually exited. The stoppage time here. Towards Nonduile. Had its effect. Roberts. Ollie Banks. Roberts again, Nonduile. John Welsh, where it mattered, Nonduile again. Ryan. Morsey. Lucas again, Morsey. Not very kindly for him, Tom Clark for company. Put in from Kilkenny. Everts. Will there be late drama here? Barikwa. Throwing at the end of that last chance of this first leg, surely now. It's Roberts. In it goes. Huntington's header. Scampering after it was Jones. Banks might retrieve the situation here. Roberts into a brick wall again. Halfway there for Preston, but they have survived wave upon wave of Chesterfield pressure. What didn't come with the pressure, though, from Paul Cook's team was real opportunities. The difference was that Jermaine Beckford had two for Preston, and he took one of them early on. Something of a gift, but he took his chance in typical style, and may have sent Preston halfway to Wembley. It was a fractious night. Jimmy Ryan may well have seen red on another night after an incident involving Paul Gallagher, where he certainly appeared to swing an elbow and certainly appeared to make contact with it. The referee's view may be not the best, but it was a night that saw plenty of that. They can end on a smile, the two managers, but at times, well, it was, to say the very least, a battle.